Alright, but we're back onto the motor here. So we're going to try to figure out where the drag is at. So right now the crank is pretty tight because it's the oil. The grease is pretty thick and it's cold, so it's relatively stiff. But you can see how the flywheel brings the rods up with no problem. So we get an idea about how much drag we got without anything on it. Now the pinion bushing, you can see a little bit of marks on it. Little burnishing marks there. So it's got a little bit of markage on there. So you can see it's a little bit of binding on that. So that's inside of this bushing here. And you see there's a lot of pressure right up in here. So this is the original bushing. I did not change this. But you can see how it's really, really tight on the top part of the bushing. That means the center lines are a little bit off. So a little hand scraping right there will help loosen the bushing up a little bit, which might help things slightly. If you ream the whole bushing oversized, it just makes everything bigger. If you cut where it needs to be cut, it won't take as much metal out. So let's put it on here and see how loose the bushing actually is. It's definitely looser side to side than up and down. A little bit tighter up and down. But it's not really loose either. It's, it's a little loose, but not too bad. So it's got a little bit of drag on that. Like I said, you can hand scrape it. That would probably help things out slightly, but we don't know if that's where all the drag is at right now. So the way you find out is you put it together. In the meantime, we'll look at the number 2 bushing here, and I don't see any burnishing marks on that. It looks pretty good. Not really seeing too much marks at all in there that where things are tight. So that's this bushing here. See how it's got a little clearance in it, not too bad. Looks like it's supposed to be. It is a little tight spinning it this way. So, if there's any drag on the chamfer, the bushing or something. Look for any weird marks in there and something dragging in there, who knows. Push real hard in there against it and see if there's any kind of markings at all. Feels relatively even. There's a little bit of a lip across the face there. You can catch your finger on it. So there might be a little bit of something going on there, so let's try a little deburring on that. So we got a little deburring tool here, and run that across the face. It's not really affecting the outside edge too much. Try it again. Okay, blow it off now. So you can see how it makes more of a radius cut on the bushing and then just a square chamfer. Still get a little something on there, I'm not sure what. So got to take a little small file on there and smooth it up a little bit. Okay, so got a little fine file here. This one's been broken off, so it gets into tighter places. He used to have a big handle on the back side. So this fits in here pretty easy. Knock off any high spots that might be in here. So you can see how it smooths up the lip there a little bit. See, from here in it was cutting, and then on the outside it's not. Still got a little bit of the lip right there still. Doesn't want to come out, so there must be a low spot next to it. Okay, we'll blow it off again. Okay, we'll try our cam again. It feels about the same. Just has a little drag in there, but not much. But looks like we have no oil on it. We're doing it purposely dry. Oil will mask tight spots. Okay. So, let's see if drag is on here without the cam, because I see the burnishing mark on here, not the cam. So hopefully the cam is not the issue. Still goes on tight. Part of my hand too. That's what they make a hammer for, see? Go like that. Okay, we're going to put a couple of screws in here to put a little load on the motor. It's always easier to do it this way than fight it. I need that. Okay, those are all just slightly tightened down. There's our drag right there. So, see how it's pretty heavy drag. See? I didn't line ream that one because that was already in there as original. At least it's been in there for a while anyway. But obviously, there's a lot of drag on that bushing. Alright, so we're going to have to do something about that. It eventually had to wear in or it'd wear out. Probably would wear out. It would probably stick itself to the shaft and gall it all up. Burn it up. Burnishing makes a lot of heat. That's rubbing real hard on something. And then it turns into galling where it transfers metal and sticks. So basically the heat makes the oil go away, and then it's metal on metal, and then you have problems. So one way we can fix that is we've got to remove the metal. Remember, I did not glue the case together for a reason. Because I thought I might have to do something. Guess what I got to do? I'm going to try to line ream that hole. See what happens. Actually, I don't really have to take this off, but it'd make it easier to come off if I did. Now I've got to get the bolt back under here. It has to come off. Okay, now it's a little hard to get off at this point because there's nothing here to pull against in the cam-wise. Pull the cover on the back a little bit. Now we got to hit it from the inside in here. So as you take my hammer handle, push on the inside of the cover in there. Give it a little whack. Try to get the slide off a little bit. Make sure you collapse down the breather in there all the way down, otherwise you'll bend it when you hit on it. Cams are becoming in the way back there. Okay, at this point we almost got enough room to put a screwdriver in here. We want to do that though. We'll keep whacking on it a little bit. I'm going to use a bigger hammer here. Damn it. Case spins around. Okay, now I got enough distance in here, I can probably put a spine screwdriver in there. So we have our medium one. You don't want to pound it in, you just want to kind of work it in back and forth. Putting pressure back here with my fingers in the back over here, and it slides right off the bushings. Every time you hear a little pop, each time it does that, it pops off the bushing. There it goes. So it's pretty tight on the pinion shaft there, it's a problem. Okay. So I gotta pull the case apart. So this is why I did not goop it up. Supposed to be a tight fit, it isn't. Okay, so now you just knock off the cover here, hit right at the base of the generator here. That splits the cases easily. You rotate it around, lift up equally. Let it hang, you pull that off. Pull out the rest of it. gasket yet. I keep hooking the gasket like this and it's trying to tear it. Probably should pull it off at some point, but I'll just be putting it right back on again. Okay, got a little bit of oil and everything here, so we're going to wipe that up. That comes from the crank. Yeah. Clean rag. All right. Get the oil off of this. Just what you want to make sure it was going in there correctly and not beating on it at an angle. Make sure that works. Let's see, you need a reamer. I thought smaller than that one. Just a cam reamer. Need a pinion reamer. Nope. Try this. Not found yet. Let's see, number 2 cam. Trapdoor oversize. Cam. Knucklehead stuff. Big twin cam. XL bane oversize. Looks like I removed it. Trapdoor reamers. Alright, looks like I did something with the reamer I need. I know what I did with it. Damn reamer in the world here except the one I want. So I gotta find the 5/8. Obviously I took it out of the drawer. Moved it. $6,245. See, I got lots of reamers around here. See, and I'm laying all over the place. That's a half thou under. These are not the ones I normally use though. So my guess is I did something else with it. Alright, let me go find it. I'll be back. Alright, I found it. It was in a drawer buried. It says trapdoor oversize on it, but over here it says pinion. And the small print that's rubbed off, it's 625. It looks like it's 525 almost. So, time to modify this to make it, we can read it again. 625 XL main. So this would be probably 52 through 76. Not sure about the 52. Definitely 57 later, but we'll go with 52. All right. The problem with this is the shaft is the same size as the reamer, which means there's no clearance. So, I thought I had a 626 reamer, but nope. So this one, here's the pilot use. Okay, see how it fits in there. So here's our 626 oversize. See if we look out. Yeah, look at that. Matches. Okay, so this is the oversize, and the other one is standard. Problem with the shaft is oversize. There's your problem. Right on zero, 625. If your reamer is 625 and your shaft is 625, you have no clearance. They should have ground the shaft 1 thou under, so when you put a standard reamer in it, you'd have 1 thou clearance. Or at least a half a thou. In this case, we got zip. Unless they use the oversized reamer. So we're going to see how it works for the skinny reamer. And then we'll try the fat reamer. And see if it lines up better. Now, I'm not trying to make the bushing oversized, I am trying to make it line up. So if the bushing is going through at an angle like this, it comes out, gets tight on one side. If it goes in straight, it would fit in just perfect. So I don't know if it's going in straight or what. The hole size is bigger than we need, but if the angle is wrong, then we have a problem. See how nice the cover goes on with no shaft on it? So all the binding is on this shaft trying to get the cover on off. So we can see that pretty easily. So the more of this stuff we do, the more we learn, right? So every motor is a little different. We've got to figure out all the things that are different so that we know what to do. I don't want to replace the bushing just yet because it is a relatively tight bushing. So it's not officially worn out, it's just we're having an alignment issue. All right. Let's see what we got. Okay, this is the smaller one, I think. Yep, 625. It's definitely not going in. Or it went all the way in, I can't tell. I think it went all the way in, I just couldn't feel it. Let's see, I can see. That's the problem. Goes all the way in. Okay, so this one's too small. 626 dowel pin. Okay, that's that one. Now we're going to take our oversized one. See how that works. This one does not go in. Okay. Let's see. I don't think I can use my 3/8 drill motor. I don't think it'll work. We'll have to find out. Okay, let's transfer over here to the machine shop area. We got all the power tools at. There's some junk in the way I gotta move. Let's see. About there would be a good spot. Okay, we got one junk pan out of the way. Other tools. And a bunch of rock runs I'm supposed to be working on. Alright. I got a workbench. It'd be nice if this would accept this, but I'm pretty sure it won't. Yeah, not even close. I figured as much. That would have been too easy. So that means we get to use the big one. That means we're not going to do it on this bench because it'll wind up on the floor anyway. So we're going to have to do this on the floor. Be down in that area. Get my appropriate protective device. Dickie shirt, that's what they're good for. Get the big 1/2-inch drill motor. There you go. Oil. Go for a drill. Should be enough. So put it down there. Drop the alignment in there. Now we go ahead and drill this in into the case. Don't think it really did much of anything except burnish the hole, but don't see much in the way of chips coming off. That's all we want to do. basically fitting a fitted hole already. Oil on there I don't like. Okay, get this all apart, clean it up, we'll be back.